Chris Dickinson, I'm ready. I've been watching Chris Dickinson matches. I'm getting so excited. I'm ready to get cereal.
Oh, sure you're not watching the Ultimate Warrior wrestle? I don't know. You're looking like the Warrior right now. Like, you're crazy.
Friends, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Get Cereal, the weekly show where I, your host, Alyssa Marino, eat cereal, talk about stuff, and sometimes talk to people. And speaking of people, I have a very special person on today, someone who says that he's as big a cereal fan as I am. The brash, the brutal, the bold, the unapologetic, the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm doing really good today. I'm excited to eat some cereal with you. I've actually been a fan of the show for a while, so I'm really happy that you have this have given me this opportunity to be on.
We actually did a podcast for United Wrestling Network where you were talking about how cereal is like the perfect food. I was like, well, we need to do an episode. So
yeah,
I am not only excited to have you on as a guest, and I'm so grateful for you making the time, but I'm actually possibly more excited to eat this cereal. I'm going to show off what we've got.
Okay.
We got a special one, something very nostalgic. Drum roll, please. Dunkaroos Cereal. Unbelievable. Now I know you're ready. You're portioned out. I'm going to pour my cereal and join you.
I portioned out because I'm trying to watch it today a little bit. I was like, should I just pour it all in on the camera? I was like, let me weigh it like a total nerd. So,
it's okay. Well, that was behind the scenes footage that the audience at home doesn't get, is you weighing out your cereal.
2 nights ago, I ate an entire box of marshmallow Fruity Pebbles by myself. Yeah.
It's to the best of us. While we're talking about this and I'm getting my cereal prep, I feel like Dunkaroos is one of the snacks that if you had it in your lunchbox as a kid, you knew it was going to be a good day. Can you think of any other snacks from growing up that you would most look forward to?
I like Dunkaroos. I definitely did. I loved Pop-Tarts. I know that's kind of like a breakfast thing, but I would eat stuff like that all the time. I was I was an animal. When I was a kid, I ate everything in sight. I loved Gushers. Fruit roll-ups, candy, things like that. I love chewy, fruity candies. That's definitely a favorite. But I also do love chips too. If you got a bag of Doritos, I'm all about that life.
You know? What about for Pop-Tart? Did you have a favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
I like I really liked that one that was purple with the blue stripe in it. Do you know that
Wild Berry? I think.
Yeah, Wild Berry. That one was good. Or the Wild Berry. But I really like the classic. Well, actually, my favorite is Frosted Cherry. But I really like strawberry too, frosted strawberry. But frosted cherry just has a little bit of a different kick to it. Really cool. I
agree. Are you ready to add the milk and make this a party?
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't pre-do your milk, because then you would have soggy cereal and that would not be any good at all.
No. What do you got? Almond milk there?
I do almond. What about you?
I got Nature's Promise Organic 2%.
Ooh la la. All right, do this.
Let's go. I'm excited. I didn't even taste one. I didn't even try one yet.
That's honestly such self-discipline. I'm really proud of you. I didn't do it either. The fact that this box lasted as long as it did, it's really a testament to our strength. So, yeah. My friends, Chris Dickinson, let's get cereal.
Yeah. It's like Cookie Crisp, but Sugar Cookie Crisp or something.
No, exactly it. Because I feel like when I first took a bite, I'm like, oh, okay, this tastes like a sprinkly sweet cookie. But then it got a little creamy tasting, which I think is supposed to be what you would dip it in. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's making me think of the cream part. Yeah, it's like a Sugar Cookie Crisp.
Oh my god, this is so good. And if you notice on the back of the box, it really fits in with our theme of the day, which is nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
Got mobile phones, and it's really how things have changed over time. Yeah. Now, obviously you've been very busy, you've been traveling a lot, wrestling all over the place, but I want to think about the idea of different times. Now, if you could wrestle in any era, either past or future, where would you pick to go, and what era do you think you would do best in?
I think I'd kick ass in Japan in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to wrestle like New Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s. It was so good. There was so many good guys there. Like the late 80s too. Like I'd love to wrestle other guys from like the UWF and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like that's just my preference. But I mean, I've been watching, like I go through like, you know, I don't really watch that much WWF stuff anymore. But lately I have been. Like, I would love to be in the 1992 Royal Rumble.
We're in like the Royal Rumble spirit, but I feel like you, and especially people can tell on social media, you are such a historian and such a student of the game. But I want to actually take us back to the present and kind of see what you've been up to, because I know you've done a lot of traveling, and where have your most recent adventures been taking you?
Well, first of all, I just want to, like, you know, just say thank you to everyone who does, give me work. It's because this is a very, you know, it's slim pickings right now. So I'm very fortunate, and, I'm very thankful for the fact that I have been busy. But yeah, I was doing all that. We were working together on the United Wrestling Network show, which was really fun. I work for GCW, which has been running fairly regularly during the pandemic, doing like normal GCW shows, as well as we did some Josh Barnett's Bloodsport stuff that's all going to be coming out this month. Two different tapings, so there's going to be two different, pay-per-view options. I started wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling. You could see me on NJPW Strong on New Japan World. If you aren't subscribed, you should. So, you can check me out on there. And I'm proud to say, but I can't really talk about it in too much detail, but I have some other cool stuff coming up that's definitely gonna raise a few eyebrows. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Getting to do more stuff, considering everything's been kind of crazy. So it was a weird year. It was, I guess, definitely not like the best for a lot of people, and my heart goes out to a lot of people. And I definitely took hits myself, but I just tried to roll with the punches, could just keep moving.
Literally and figuratively. And I feel like over a year where a lot of things did slow down, and even when things became limited, here you are, we were just talking about New Japan and making a debut there, competing across the country, everything you've been up to. And then you have Bloodsport 4 is going to be premiering next weekend, where you'll be facing Jeff Cobb. These are really major accomplishments. Do you feel like you ever get a chance to kind of like reflect on how much you've achieved in this very kind of crazy time?
Yes. It's because of the downtime more so between stuff. Nowadays with the way everything is, more of like the closed studio, compiling footage, pre-tape atmosphere. It's like you have these days where you'll go to work, and then you'll have like 2 weeks where you or a couple weeks where you sit on it and you have to think like, okay, what did I do? Oh my God, I can't believe I did this. And then you watch it, like I went to like my parents, and I watched the New Japan on the TV in like the living room with them, and it's like, oh, I can't believe I did this, like X amount of time ago or whatever. Yeah. But you do have a lot of time to reflect, and it is like it's reinforcing, and it's just like, okay, I got to keep training, I have to keep on my diet, I got to keep stay tight, I got to keep moving forward, because I don't have a choice. This is my job, so if I want to buy cereal, I gotta wrestle, man.
You gotta be making that cereal money, man.
Gotta be making that cereal money. I bought a lot of cereal. The night I texted you the picture of the cereal, or I posted the story, whatever. That cereal aisle in that specific ShopRite, it's called ShopRite, is like unbelievable. So, and I eat a lot of cereal, like whether it's oatmeal or like packet oatmeal with like the flavoring, or I eat a lot of grits. I eat butter flavored grits. I eat cream of rice. So like I haven't been home in like 2 weeks, so I had to go buy all my groceries. So then I start seeing like, ooh, what's on sale? Like Marshmallow Fruity Pebbles, my favorite. It was only like $2.99 a box, so I'm just like throwing $1.99 a box. I was just throwing boxes in my cart. I should have taken a picture of the cart, but
That cart would have made me proud. And I was curious as to how many other boxes of cereals made their way home with you that day.
Oh, man.
Well, now, speaking about accomplishments, everything you've been doing, kind of what factors in your life do you attribute to having this nonstop drive?
The fact that I do need to feed myself is one of them for sure.
True. That's,
getting that cereal money. Listen, I mean, I understand a lot of people have their own stance on everything that happened the last year and all the pandemic stuff, but you have to understand, someone in my position, I worked really, really, really hard for a long time to get to where I was at, where I haven't, I've only been surviving and living off of pro wrestling for the last 4 years. Wow. And that was my goal, my accomplishment period. If I could just do that, I'd be fine. And I wasn't going to let anybody take that away from me. I wasn't going to let that away from me. And I had, goals and plans and all these things going into, March of last year. Mm-hmm. And then it was just we got slashed. I just wasn't going to I was going to do anything I could, so I don't know. I love to train. I do love to train. I do love to suffer a little bit. So I kind of just put my heart into everything I was doing every day, and just a lot of willing things into existence. I know that sounds crazy for some people to maybe wrap their head around, but I really believe in it, man. I really believe that if you want something, and if you're working towards it, and you're working towards it, and you're putting that best foot forward, if you believe that you absolutely deserve it and you belong and you're doing everything you can, people will notice that can give you opportunities or can open those doors for you. And that's just how it works. But this is a time period where more than ever, you have to make things happen yourself. You can't sit around and wait for people to give you an opportunity. And that's how it always is. But now it's if you weren't doing the work before, it may be real slim for you now. So now it's slim for people who even were on the front end of the indies. But now it's you got to make the most of every chance you have. When we were doing those tapings, those live shows, I mean, that was any possible chance you have to have a camera in front of you, let alone a production like that. Everyone involved in something like that, all the work going into something like that to make me look good, I better take every possible inch of advantage I could take here to make the most of it. So I think it just comes down with okay, the opportunities are less, right? Mm-hmm. But when you get one, absolutely no fooling around. You can't miss,
No, for sure. And United Wrestling Network did an incredible job, as has GCW. I know you competed with Beyond. The people that are running things, I think, are doing to the best of their ability. And especially, United Wrestling Network has a special place in my heart. So I'm always gonna
listen. Everybody has their opinion of running during this whole thing, but you have to understand, for somebody like me, I don't have a choice. This is my job. This is my life. So I have to roll. I have to make the most of it. Excuse me, though. Excuse me.
Well, I know that you mentioned you love training. And I know recently you had the opportunity to train with the Warmaster himself, Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
How did that partnership come about, and what has the experience been like for you so far?
Well, that kind of goes with what I was talking about a little earlier, about just doors opening up. Mm-hmm. I met Josh 2 or so years ago when he first started putting his name on Bloodsport. He used to be Matt Riddle's Bloodsport, and then Josh started promoting the Bloodsport events, and we had a little bit of a disagreement. Actually, we didn't get off on the right foot together, and I was pissed off at him, and I was ready to have it out with him almost. And crazy me, insane, right?
Yeah, okay.
Over something where I wasn't getting, he didn't want to book me for the show, and then somebody eventually fell off because they couldn't do it, and then he used me, and I was oh, okay, now you want to use me, one of those things.
Yeah.
But regardless, long story short, Josh is the type of guy where he's the best. You have to prove yourself to Josh, and if he sees something in you, he's going to want to work with you. So I just so happened to be fortunate enough that he wanted to train me and work with me. And I've, definitely reaped the benefits of that. And I could tell you honestly, from working with Josh, I have become, I mean, I've seen it in myself. Like I've become so much better of a professional wrestler from working with Barnett. And he's just such a great guy. So I've you know, kind of gained a really good friend, like almost like a big brother. So yeah, he's cool. You know, he's all right. That guy.
He's all right. You know, he's fine.
He's all right. He's the best. I love Josh. He's a good guy, and he kind of like got me. I've introduced me to like Harry Smith, and me and Harry Smith are cool now, and it's just a good circle of people. Royce Isaacs trains with us too. I know Royce has been training a lot with Josh. Alex Coughlin, he's from the New Japan Dojo in LA. He's been training with Josh too. It's just a good circle of guys. Moxley was training with us for a week, like when I was in LA the last time. Just a good circle of guys all training catch wrestling and opening up the mind and the ideas of like what pro wrestling should be, what it could be. You know, we train catch wrestling and we work out and stuff, but it's more so the conversations, the camaraderie, the watching wrestling, because all we do is hang out and then eat and like, you know, he's such a good guy. He feeds us, he lets us stay in his house. And we watch wrestling all day and just joke around and talk about it. But it's that stuff that really opens up, you know, your ideas and thinking like, man, this is what I could be doing to be doing better. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's the type of guy who's going to tell you, he has no problem telling you like, nah, that sucked. Like you could do better. Right. Or this isn't, now you could be doing this better. Like you need someone like that to grow. You know, the older we get, it's hard to find people who are going to like tell you, who are going to be like, okay with telling you like, yeah, you need to be doing this better, or or this isn't that good. So you have to have someone like that to be able to, you know, if you're like the best person in the room, you need to be in a better room, right? A different room.
100%. Yep.
That's kind of like the relationship with Barnett. He's a sensei, you know, he's senpai. He's big bro.
I love that. And now speaking of influences that kind of shape who you are, I want to get down to, what was the Dirty Daddy like as a kid?
I don't know. We should call my mom. I was like a really good baby, apparently. Like a really good baby. I was born 10 pounds, so I was like a monster.
Dang.
And all I did was eat, apparently, and just sleep, you know, whatever. And then apparently I turned like 4 years old and I turned into a total maniac. And that's probably around the time I started getting into pro wrestling. I have an older brother and sister who are like of age in the 80s when it was like Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho Man, Jake the Snake, British Bulldogs. Like, so as long as I could remember as being like a conscious child, the WWF was a thing. And I was just kind of like a wild kid. And then by the time I was like 5 or 6 years old, I had a bully who used to like kind of like pick on me on my block, and he punched me in the eye once. And I remember I went home crying, and I used to live like my parents live right next door to my grandparents' house. So my family and I lived together, like really Italian, right?
Yep.
And my grandpa made me go outside and fight the kid in this guy's driveway. And I got to the point where the kid ran away. I hit the kid in the face and we stopped and he ran away. But then like maybe a week or so or two after that, my mom put me in a karate dojo. And I started training martial arts when I was about 6 years old. And I stayed in the same dojo till I was maybe about 15 years old. And my whole childhood was basically wrestling and karate. So pretty much exactly everything that I do now has been what I've been doing since I'm about 6 years old. Right? That was my goal, was to just never change.
Well, goal achieved. Nicely done. Maybe, okay, so you did say that you used to eat a lot and sleep a lot, and I feel like you're a little bit more structured with that now. But as far as the wrestling and yeah, I feel like you're nailing it.
Yeah, I was definitely pumped up. I was so jacked up when I was a kid. I was lucky though. My mom and dad and my grandparents, but my parents, they supported it all the way. All the wrestling figures and the toys and the video games. Like, you know, and when we were kids, I know we're probably roughly around the same age. Wrestling was like, I mean, it was so dope. And yeah. I mean, every other kid loved it. And it was like, you know, so we would I would have kids over and we would wrestle in my backyard or my grandparents' backyard, or we'd like wrecked my mom's basement. And all these kids, some of them like all became pro wrestlers too. My friend Tyson, Jaka, my tag partner, we were the Evolved Tag Team Champions.
No way!
We all met in karate. And my friend Sean, he's actually part of the Samoan family. He's Sean Maluda. He works for AEW.
Yeah.
And we all just used to trash my mom's house and break futons and furniture and couches and doors. And so if you ever get a chance to speak to Marianne, she'll tell you, she'll give you a piece of her mind about all the stuff that we wrecked over at her house. So
I'm sure to see where you're at now in everything you're accomplishing, I'm sure that makes up for like a broken futon here or there, right?
Oh no, yeah. Right. I guess, right? Yeah, but that was like my childhood. It was just wrestling 24/7. That was it.
Do you remember? I don't know if you were a South Park fan.
My dad likes South Park.
But do you remember they had the South Park character maker where you could like design, like it was like the dawn of AOL, and you would always
remember that website? Remember that website where they would have
Yes!
every wrestler had a South Park guy?
Yep.
Yes, I remember that. That was like a big deal.
Yeah,
that was
huge.
that was one of those websites like you had to go on it,
And you would sneak watching South Park because you knew you weren't supposed to, but it's like, it's a cartoon. I'm very confused. Why can't I watch this?
I'm so excited you reminded me of that website. I remember it would be WWF, WCW. I remember WCW was new. Like they put that on there. I do remember that.
Now, I want to just take it back real quick. We were talking about, diet and fitness and nutrition and stuff like that. So even in planning this episode, I'm going to quote you on this. You said you are trying not to eat cereal or anything with a lot of sugar in it till after the end of the month, because if I get cereal, I eat an entire box.
Like I did 2 days ago, yeah.
Exactly. So I don't want to talk about, the diet and nutrition part of it and all that good stuff. I want to talk about cheat meals. Do you have a go-to cheat meal, or do you mix it up all the time?
I definitely, like, cereal is usually a go-to cheat meal. But the thing is, too, like I've mentioned maybe in that other interview we did, cereals, depending on, like, what you eat. Obviously, like, this is a corn-based cereal. It has, like, cornmeal, corn syrup. I can eat cereal every day as, like, a post-workout meal. Generally, I would eat it probably with protein powder, though, like a vanilla protein powder. I don't really drink milk regularly. That's something I don't really take in dairy. Obviously whey protein, but a vanilla protein with a rice-based cereal, like as simple as Rice Krispies. That's like the perfect post-workout, or like a rice check, something like that, just plain. There was a time when I was young and skinny, I would eat Fruity Pebbles after every workout because that's a rice-based cereal, and I would eat it with like, vanilla protein powder. Because, after you work out, that's a good time to take in fast digesting carbohydrates. Obviously, I don't do that all the time, but now, like, a go-to cheat meal for me, would be like an entire box of a cereal that I really like with, like, ice cold milk, and because I usually, obviously, a whole box is going to take a little bit more than just a little bit of milk. So you're going to take in probably like a quarter gallon of milk, which has a lot of calories in it too. But I love, obviously, pizza, pasta. That's definitely probably my favorite. Cheeseburgers and stuff like that. Diner food. We have a lot of good diners on Staten Island where I'm from. Grew up with a lot of diners. But mostly just like the Italian stuff. I like pizza and pasta. I like sushi and stuff. I don't think sushi and Japanese food, though, for the most part, is such a cheat meal because it's all really so clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, a good cheat meal is like, I'll go demolish like 6 or 7 like real nice like specialty slices, like Sicilian slices, or like chicken cutlet vodka sauce, like fresh mozzarella slices, all like square. Or I'll have like this place I grew up going to. They have like really good pies. Like they have like a carbonara pie, all different like pizzas, and they'll have like maybe a chicken roll or two. And, I like to jam on that, and then maybe like a couple hours later, I like ice cream. I like ice cream a lot, but I do love cereal. Cereal is always like I have a cereal as a cheat, and my cheat day is like always a box of cereal.
Perfect. Follow-up question: go-to ice cream flavor?
Oh God, if I had to just pick one, like
only
one, oh man, definitely probably like pistachio nut, like pistachio.
Oh, okay. Not a very popular option, but quite delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about training. I know anyone that follows you online has seen on your stories that usually gym posts are accompanied by some very aggressive music. What bands are you normally listening to get yourself in the zone for workouts?
I mean, like, okay, so a lot of the music, like, I do post in the stories. Maybe sometimes I'm not listening to that. It's just like, I just like to.
Okay, fair enough.
A lot of times I am, but like sometimes I just do like to set the tone with like the crazy Arnold Schwarzenegger face, like, and like some crazy death metal.
Okay, yeah.
I do listen to a lot of like death metal, a lot of like, 90s death metal, early 90s death metal. That's like my favorite. But I listen to so much stuff, man. It's not even funny. Like my playlists are crazy. I do listen to a lot of like electronic stuff, like retro wave music. I listen to a lot of shred guitar, 80s metal type stuff. Like what's on my repeat? Like I listen to this guy who does like crazy shred guitar covers of like Guilty Gear songs, which is a video game. I listen to a lot of video game music. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a big nerd. I know I come off like this big, tough, Gindaloon, but like I'm really just I'm a nerd. Oh, I got Queen on here, Perfume, which is a J-pop band, King's X, Alice in Chains, the Capcom sound team, this sick guitar player from California. His name's Marino. He's amazing, and he does like kind of 90s arcade themed like shred metal guitar. I love this Japanese like retro wave kind of like 80s style group. They're called Satellite Young. Queen, Midnight Star, which is like kind of a funk group from like the 70s and 80s. The Doobie Brothers, Overkill, that's a thrash metal band. Slayer, of course, that's kind of like a cliche typical one. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Marty Friedman, one of my all-time favorite guitar players. I've been listening to the Rocky IV soundtrack a lot, so like Hearts on Fire's on here. Lime, Babe We're Gonna Love Tonight, the hit song of my aunt's wedding in like 1990. Yngwie Malmsteen, Kiyotaka, Sugiyama, and the Omega Tribe. That's like 80s city pop, Japanese city pop. I got Rick Derringer on here, man. I was listening to Real American. Frank Stallone. Do you know Frank Stallone? Like
Frank Stallone, yes.
He's like he does all the music from Staying Alive. Remember the movie where John Travolta dances and is on Broadway? Yeah, that's what I'm listening to in the gym. That's why people think I'm like listening to like, open the gates of the manifestation of some of the powers of darkness. But realistically, I'm listening to like this, like, and I'm like working out. You know what I mean? Like I'm going in.
You're seeing yourself in an 80s workout montage.
Oh! I live in a montage. So I live in a montage when I'm in the gym. Something's got to pass the time when I'm doing this stuff. So I listen to a little bit of everything, but I do listen to a lot of metal. I listen to a lot of old rap. I'm all over the place.
Okay, I like that. And last but not least, while we're talking about getting in the zone, do you have any rituals or superstitions that you do to prepare for matches?
Oh yeah, there's this one, I guess it is a superstition and a ritual. There's this one particular stretch I do where like it kind of like loosens up your knees and stuff. And I started doing it, and I feel like if I don't do it before a match, it's bad luck. Mm-hmm. But I haven't done it before some matches because it just slipped my mind, and it doesn't really make a difference. Nothing ever bad ever happens or whatever. But it's like this weird stretch I do where like I stand up and I like.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
I don't know, man. Okay. I like to get amped up. I like to listen to music before I wrestle.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I put my headphones in. I like to be like really warmed up and like ready to go before I go out. So I definitely do like a couple exercises. I'll put like the timer on. I'll do like a couple like, dumbbell snatches without any dumbbells. I'll do like some squats,
Yes. Air dumbbells. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you are way ahead of me, but I am at that point, so bottoms up.
Yeah, there you go. Do it up. I liked it. It was pretty good. Not bad.
The milk actually was interesting because it turned almost like I should have showed, but like a bluey purple. Did you notice that, or was it just my almond milk?
I think it's just your almond. Oh, no, wait a minute. Let me put it in the light, maybe. Oh, yeah, it is kind of blue. Let's get a little dry action going, though.
Okay, yes, please, report. Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Better dry?
It's good. It's good. I like milk. I love milk.
Good dry, yes, you are correct, but I think better with milk. My friend, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. This was so much fun. Anyone that doesn't know, where can they find you online so they can follow along your wild adventures?
at Born Dirty Die Dirty, and that's my Instagram at Born Dirty Die Dirty, and Twitter is at Dirty Dickinson. So that's where you can find me online.
Thank you again so much for joining me. This has been an absolute blast. And my friends, until next time, continue to do your best to be your best, and we will see you later.